נתיבות שלום על התורה, ספר בראשית, פרשת וישב, אלה תולדות יעקב ויוסף. Right, so Rashi explained that Yeshev, that ביקש יעקב לשבת בשלווה, right, יעקב, after all the trouble he had, going back to his homeland, he wanted to sit quietly and relax, to retire, but Rashi said, no, קפץ עליו וגזרו של יוסף. And then the verses continue, אלה תולדות יעקב ויוסף. These are the, like the outcome of Yaakov, it's Yosef. And the sages are asking, right, וריגשו חז"ל, why Yosef? He should start with Reuben, right? Reuben was his firstborn. That was the outcome of Yaakov, right? So you're starting from the beginning. Why are you starting suddenly from almost the last child? So in the Midrash Rabbah said, כך אמרו חכמים, אלה תולדות יעקב ויוסף. התולדות, the outcomes, לא באו אלא בזכותו של יוסף ובשבילו. So all of these outcomes that Yaakov had, all these children, whatever he had in life, they came only because of Yosef or because of the merit of Yosef. Why Yaakov went to Lavan? To get married. To marry to who? Who he wanted to marry to? To Rachel. Right? Rachel was the mother of Yosef. So all of these outcomes were waiting until Yosef was born. And it says in Bereshit, right? ויהי כאשר ילדה רחל את יוסף, when Rachel gave birth to Yosef, כיוון שנולד, it said, שטנו של אותו רשע. Like the, whoever is going to fight that Russia, Esav, right? Yosef was born. Then Yaakov said to Lavan, okay, now I'm ready to go. שלחני ואלחי וקומי ולהוציא, I need to go back to my place. Who's going to bring down Israel to Egypt? Yosef. Who's going to provide the food for the Egyptian and the Bnei Israel? Yosef. The splitting of the sea happened because of the Aron of Yosef, right? In the merit of Yosef. Right? It says, Amar Rabbi Yuden, Rabbi Shimon, Afa Yarden לא נקרא לבכתו של Yosef. Even the Jordan River later on was also split because of the merit of Yosef.
When the time of Yeshua?
Yeah. Right? So he said, and that's therefore it says Toldot Yaakov Yosef, because he was the main outcome of Yaakov Avinu. Because all of the existence of the rest of them is only because of Yosef. Now, it's a big question why he was not burned first, etc. But that's not the topic. He was burned almost the last one, but he is the main outcome. So that's why the Torah was mentioning first. These are the outcome of Yaakov Avinu. And also, so according to that, we found in the Midrash, אמר רבי לוי, משל לנפח שהיה פתוח באמצע פלטיה ופתח בנו זהבי פתוח כנגדו, okay, so somebody, he saw like there was a blacksmith and his workshop was open and there was another place and there was like another place of the Havi, so some kind of whatever bundles of here it says kotzim, but basically it's like bundles of bushes, and they came into the to the Medina. They came into the city. So he asked and he said, I don't understand where all of these bundles are going to get in. And there was one clever guy. אמר לו, מאלו אתה מתיירא, like this is what you are afraid of all of this bundle of the bushes. One spark from your workshop, right, of the blacksmith, and from your son. The son was actually was like a jeweler. So one spark from you and one spark from your son, you're burning them all. And that it says in the Haftarah, right, in Ovadia. I think we read it last week, no? והיה בית יעקב אש ובית יוסף להבה ובית עשיו לקש. So the house of Yaakov will be fire, and the house of Yosef will be the flame, and the house of Esav will be the straw. Right? So as Rashi explained in the pasuk, ויהי כאשר ילדה רחל את יוסף, ויאמר יעקב, right, when Rachel gave birth to Yosef, and Rachel, right, and then Yaakov asked Lavan, okay, send me away. Because Yosef is the sitno shel Esav. And now that he's born, Yaakov needs to go back home. And according to that, we can say this is also the meaning of the two chalomot, the two dreams of Yosef. והנה אנו מעלמים עלומים, right? The bundles in the field, and my bundle is in the middle, and your bundle are surrounding me, and they're going to bow. Same thing with the shemesh and Yereach, the sun and the moon, and the 11 stars are bowing down to me, which is a hint. We learned it a few times last years, which is a hint about the middle of Yosef, which is the Yesod, foundation, which, although it's in the lower part of the body, but this is the one that is above all the other midot v'madregot, and all of the other midot, chokhmah, binah, dat, right, netzach, hod, malchut, is right, depending in the yesod. And also merumaz, beomro, when it says, v'ine kama alumati, my bundle is raised and also standing, right, it get up and standing straight. And your bundle are actually going to circle me, and then they're going to bow to my bundle. So he said, the bechol midot, gam lachar shemetaknam, so the other midot, after you fix them or working on them, still there is a risk of falling down, as long as he didn't fix the midah of Yosef, which is basically wasting sperm for nothing. זרע של לשווא. Right? So he said, so if you didn't fix that, then the rest of the midot have a high risk to fall. Because this midah of Yosef is giving a stability, a spiritual stability. And including in these two dreams, the Gashmim, which are all the materialistic things of this world, are actually hinted in the dream with the bundles. With bundles basically of wheat, of lechem. Everything is depending, the shefa, the abundance is depending on that midah of Yosef. And the second dream of the sun and the moon and the 11 stars, right? Guess where they're located? In heaven. So basically this is about the spiritual things. All the high achievement, all the high level, etc. They're all depending also in the midah of Yosef. I don't know if he's going to mention it here, but we learned that basically when somebody is doing it too much and wasting it too much, then our sages said that he's actually damaging the brain, because it started from the brain, from the head. So if somebody is doing it too much, he becomes stupid. It's not me, it's our chachamim, basically. So it comes from there. And then what happening is that person is getting bad thoughts and bad opinion, and he can go against the chachamim, etc., etc. So said as long as the person didn't fix that part, then he's in a high risk for the entire midot. And this type of midah of yesod, foundation, is giving the shefa, the abundance, the wealth, to the physical things and to the spiritual thing. That's why it's so important. So he said here, which means, so why they were bowing? Because he said that they were surrendering under the midah of Yosef. As Maran Asaba Kadosh Melochovitz, the Choton Gelen, we said on the pasuk from Tehillim, right? Hashem betzion gadol veramu al kol amim, right? That Hashem is mighty in Tzion and is the greatest one and the bigger one from all the nations. So Tzion in Gematria numerical value is Yosef, which means somebody that holding to the midah of Yosef and is not blemishing the Brit, then he have the cleaving to Hashem. אלוקותו יתברך גדולה יותר, you have more of Hashem. ורמו על כל עמים. So מידה זו רמה, it's a higher level than all the other עמים, like the nation, the other midot. In מרום על בית אברהם, he end up with the Tehillim or with the Mishle, he says, רבות בנות עשו חיל, right? All the girls did well, ואת עלית על כולנו, but you did better. He said that indeed, in all the other midot, we can serve Hashem, but אך ואת, which mean the מידת השקר החן והבל היופי, right? אישה עלית על כולנה. This is, you know, the level of the false and the beauty, etc. It's all go with the wind. So the midah of Yesod is the best one, the powerful one. And the explanation why? Because in the all other midot, we can enslave and we can serve Hashem in our natural strengths. But this midah, right, which is basically, this is what drives the world. And if you see about, this is what, main thing, right? This food, kavod, money, but this one is like, without that, the world will not move on. You said we cannot achieve that level of controlling the midah of Yesod by using natural strength that we have. It has to be supernatural. We have to basically turn upside down our nature to Hashem's will. And therefore, the sages said that when somebody is a sage, is righteous person, that he never damaged the Brit, then when he said something, right, even if Hashem have a decree, the tzaddik can cancel it, can nullify it. If he's a real tzaddik, that never damaged that. Because why? Because he changed his nature to the honor of Hashem. And therefore, it's midah keneged midah. Then Hashem will change also whatever decree he made if the righteous person would say that it should be nullified. And this is when it says, Hayam ra'av vayanos, right? The sea saw and ran away. That the splitting of the Yam Suf, hayta bizchut arono shel Yosef, because of his coffin, right? His body, his basically his bones over there, because he's changed his nature, right? We all know what happened later on in the Parashat, and then later on about the wife of Potiphar, right? It was a big nisayon. Actually, that nisayon was a milestone, or that was like a chas v'chalila. If he wouldn't pass that test, we will not be here talking about it. And also, the shoresh midat yesod, so the root of the level of the midah of the yesod of the foundation, is clarity in faith. As the Ramah in the beginning of Shulchan Aruch said, שישים האדם אל ליבו שהמלך הגדול הקדוש ברוך הוא, right? The person should pay attention and to watch that the great king Hashem, which is fulfilling the whole creation, his honor is standing above him and watching his action. So if we will think about it and we remember that whatever we do, Hashem is watching, then immediately we'll get fear and humbleness, because we're afraid of Hashem, because he's watching us, right? A good analogy, when you are working in a working place and the boss is looking at you, you behave differently. So this is how we should feel. Yavdil. They said in the faith, yes, shalosh madrigot, we have 3 levels. There is the faith of the brain, which is related to the wisdom and to the intellect. Above that, the faith of the heart. And above that, the fate of the Varim, the body. Basically, what he's talking here about, about the fate that we don't have a control. When the body have a fate, then it's not in our control. It will come from the fact that we sanctify ourselves and we have the faith in the brain and then the faith in the heart, but when the body have the faith, then that's it. The body will behave like Shulchan Aruch according to the halacha, even if we don't want to, which is very high level. Because the body will feel there is a judge and there is a judgment, and this is perfection in faith. Shleimut ha'emunah. As it says in Tehillim, right? Kol atzmotai tomarna Hashem ikamucha. All my bones will say, who is Hashem like you? Even the bones, which are a very thick material, a low level of gashmut, they will feel that there is Hashem. Because of the great level or the advantage of this midah of the Yesod, therefore we have such a powerful evil inclination that is trying against it, trying very hard. Because if this midah of Yesod, opening all the gates of the shefa, of the abundance of the wealth that we're getting, when we are behaving in Kedusha and in purity, then the gates of our brain, the gates of the heart, and all the gates of the Torah and the mitzvot are opened for us. But the person that doesn't keep that midah, then it says, the Zohar Kol, closed in front of him. It's all closed. And therefore, the main battle, the fight with the evil inclination, but that essence of the person is in this midah. שאם זוכה בתיקון מידה, so if we conquering this midah, then we become a ruler on all the other midot. As it says, ביוסף, הוא השליט, הוא המשביר, right? Is the ruler, is the provider for all the nation. Which means he is the moshel, is the ruler, is the king of on all of the other midot. And he says in the main Nisayon, he said that it's in a place when it's a gray area. It's look like a gray area, which means it doesn't look like an absolute forbidden thing. It's look like you can find a heter, you can find a reason to permit something. The same way, which was with Yosef. Why? So when the wife of Potiphar wanted to sleep with him, she told him, this is from Hashem. This is from Hashem. And he look in Ruach HaKodesh, here it says it's tagninut, it's like astrology. So he saw in astrology that he should actually have outcome from her, from the wife of Potiphar, which means children or descendant. It doesn't say specifically that they will have a kid together, but he saw in astrology that he's going to have descendants from her. So it's a good place to make a mistake, right? Like Korach. Korach saw in Ruach HaKodesh that he's going to have Shmuel. And Shmuel, we say in Tehillim, right? In davening, we said that Moshe v'Aaron, right? And Shmuel bekoreh shemo. Like Moshe and Aaron equal to Shmuel. So Korach made a mistake. Right? I'm just adding it. He doesn't mentioning it here, but it's a good sure. So when Korach saw that he's going to have Shmuel and Shmuel equal to Moshe and Aaron, he said, right, it must be me now. I'm supposed to be the leader. Because if I'm going to have someone that is so great, that's equal to Moshe and Aaron, and it's coming from me, I need to be the leader. What he didn't understand is the reason why he had Shmuel is because he go against Moshe and Aaron and go against Hashem, and because he did Kiddush Hashem when Hashem opened the mouth of the earth and it got swollen, that was a Kiddush Hashem, then he got Shmuel. Otherwise he couldn't have him. Right? So here Yosef saw that he's supposed to have descendants. So he could say, okay, let's do it. It's Hashem's will. No, that was a mistake. It wasn't. Later on, he was marrying to Osnat. Osnat was the daughter of Dinah that was raped by Shechem, right? So, and then they sent her to Egypt. So basically, the daughter was an adopted daughter of Potiphar's wife. So that's why he saw the descendant will coming from her, but it was not her. So he could fail. But you understood that it was not the truth. And this is what the Midrash said, that when Yaakov saw all the alufim of Esav, alufim is champions, right? So last week Parsha, we end up with all the champion of Esav, all these descendants. Like all these great, mighty, warrior, whatever, important people. Alufei Esav. But he said, yes, but these are all the level and all the midot of the Merkava, of the Sitra Acha, of the chariot of the other side. Which, yes, indeed, each one of them is a champion, but a negative champion. And Yaakov Avinu saw all of these evil strengths and all the evil and the dark desires, which are in the midot, basically, right? Because we have the good and the bad mixed together. And he was afraid, how can we uproot this evil that is fulfilling the creation? How a Jew can overcome all the bad midot? So the answer was, going back to the analogy about the blacksmith and the bundle of the bushes, one spark coming out, burning all. So the house of Yaakov is fire, the house of Yaakov is the flame, Yaakov is the strength, is the Torah. Shiten emet leYaakov, right? What do you mean give truth to Yaakov? Emet is Torah. Torah is the signature, the emet, the truth, the signature of Hashem, which is basically the Torah. Asher alo divrei ke'esh num Hashem, my words are like fire. Right, so in the Torah we have the strength, the power of the positive fire, the Gedusha, that's burn and consume all the evil inclination, which is Esav basically. So the strength of the Gedusha turning the level of the desire to a flame, but a flame to Hashem. This is how we need to divert it. And also we can say furthermore, in the explaining about what does it mean, Bet Yaakov Esh, the house of Yaakov is fire, and the house of Yosef is a flame, which means Yaakov Avinu נתקדש בקדושה מופלגת במידת הקדושה, right? So, as I said, קדושנו קדוש Yaakov. So Yaakov Avinu have a higher level in Kedusha, right? In all of these years that he was in the yeshiva, he was learning, he was at Lavan, but he never been influenced by the negativity of Lavan. So he said Yaakov is in the middle of the Torah, that his Torah is actually the antidote, which is tavlin, like the cure for the evil inclination. So Bet Yaakov Esh, and Esh is the Torah, fire is the Torah. So in its strengths of the Torah is to achieve what we can achieve, alavai, to the divine Kedusha of Yaakov. And we found that Avinu, לא מצינו שעבר ניסיונות במידה זו רק אצל יוסף, right? So we saw that Yaakov Avinu had nisyonot, but not the same thing as the nisyonot in the level of Yosef, like Yesod, right? Because Yaakov was so kadosh, he didn't have this thing of wasting sperm for nothing. Like that was the test with Yosef. So he says, Bet Yosef Lava. So the house of Yosef is Lava, is a flame. That when he had that nisayon, kasher pachaz alav yitzro, the evil inclination tried. He said it's not enough in a fire, but you need to have the flame, like something that is bursting, right? Flaming. This is what is needed. So he said, Harvey, you're painting on the page. So he said, yeah. Harvey, you're still painting something.
I'm trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, so don't get, just leave it. It's okay. Just leave it there. So he said that then we have the evil inclination, then you need the flame. You need something really strong, like a burner. And to put that desire, to put it down, right? To consume it, to burn it. And this is the strength of Yaakov and the strength of Bet Yosef, le'ava mela'etet, like a burn and a torch that's burning all the straws of the Bet Esav. Fire fighting with fire, but it's the fire of Gedusha. And that's why we have a Mesirut Nefesh, and this is what he says. So this Sion, Midata Yesod, it's really need the Mesirut Nefesh, and you need to have a torch in order to fight it. But he said, but it's not enough in fire and not enough in the torch. You have to have them both. And then both we're going to have that Yosef was actually achieve a level of Merkava la Shechina b'midat Yesod. So he was like a vessel for the Shechina in that midah. But he said, indeed, this perfection is by both of them together. That we need the strength of the Torah, which is the fire, and the strength of the Gedusha, which is the flame. And they both need each other. He said, the Torah אינה מועלת, אלא כאשר עוסקים בה בקדושה ובתורה. So he said, if somebody learned Torah, but let's say, and he doesn't eat kosher food, and I met people that they were wizards in the Torah, like some of my teachers, they knew the Torah upside and down, they knew the Nevi'im, they knew everything, but they never kept any Torah and mitzvot. And you see that they were rotten inside. So it's not good enough just to learn Torah. You have to have a Gedusha and a Tahara, and keep the Torah mitzvot, eating kosher, keeping Shabbos, the whole deal. That's together only. כמאמר אדמו"ר בבית עבר תכוננו, ישראל אהב את יוסף, which means, and Israel loved Yosef, right? Israel was the higher level of Yaakov, right? Hashem changed his name. He loved Yosef. So Israel is acronym for יש 60 ריבו אותיות לתורה. There are 600,000 letters to the Torah. So, which means, right, that it's all of Israel. אהב את Yosef, that the Torah needs to be with Kedusha and Tahara together. And also, you cannot achieve a level of Gedusha only by the strength of the Torah, because otherwise, what will keep you driving to keep Torah and mitzvot and eat kosher if you're not learning the Torah and understanding that you need to do that? The more you learn, the more you get deeper and deeper with the emunah, with the faith. Because Hashem created the evil inclination, and He created the Torah as the antidote to it. That's the koach, keneged yetzer hara. And with the strength of the Torah, we can purify ourselves. And then with the Torah and the Gedusha, right? Then together it will be like the spark that is going to burn the evil inclination. And I think we're going to finish with this.
Baruch.
רגע, that's a second, not yet, Harvey, not yet. So he said, so the house of Yaakov is the fire, and the house of Yaakov is the torch, is the flame, and the house of Esav is the straw. By igniting the flame of the Kedusha of the Torah and Avodah, right, learning and davening, praying, that have the strength to burn all the shells, all the ktuma, all the impurity thing that are actually trying to prevent us from getting to our purpose in life. As it says in Torah Avot, Mashal echad she'aya lo ya'ar, because somebody had a forest, he wanted to build houses, and he started to uproot the trees, one tree after one tree. He didn't finish the uprooting the tree, and they started to grow again, right? It was probably a big forest. So he saw that he's not going to finish it in his life, because the forest is not standing still waiting for him. So he ignited a fire, and all the forest burned, and that's it. So he said the same thing in Avodat Hashem, that when we are dealing with Avodah, right, whatever in this part, in the other part, in this area, the other area, also we have bad thoughts, whatever, the evil inclination is trying hard on us, then until he's like uprooting this bad thought, any other bad thought is coming, right? Many things can trigger us to thinking about something that we shouldn't. And we're never going to finish with that. And maybe our whole life. So what's the advice? But this is something which I don't understand, how to do it. Okay, fine, now I understand. He said his advice is to light a big fire that will consume everything. And that fire is Bet Yaakov, which means the Torah that he's learning in Mesirut Nefesh, like we're doing now. We want to go to sleep. I know it's only 7:28, but it took at middle of the night. But we're still learning, and we're trying to understand what he's saying here. So by doing that, this is the Mesirut Nefesh. This is like an example how we're turning the fire on by learning Torah while it's difficult for us. So this, the Kedusha, the strength of the Kedusha, by igniting this flame, it's actually fixing the level of the desire and make it as a positive desire. And we're bringing this desire to cleaving to Hashem by postponing other things that we want to do, which basically are nonsense. So according to what? He said the Eitzah, the advice of Barati Yetzirah, I created the evil inclination, I created him, the Torah is the antidote. This is Midah Keneged Midah. So the same way it's difficult for you to overcome the evil inclination, this is the same way you need to increase the learning of the Torah. And if the evil inclination is trying very hard, then we need to learn the Torah like in excitement, right? Sheva koach ha'kedusha bevchinat, so it will have the strength of the kedusha like a fire fighting a fire. And he said it's not just good to listen to a shiur. You have to learn in effort, learning Gemara, learning things, taking notes, etc. Because just to listening to something goes from one ear to another. But putting the effort, this is actually will turn the light on, the fire on. And this is what will give us the chance. And he says, V'zo b'chinat bet Yosef, and this is like the level of Yosef, le'ava. Shuv en ata mitere miklum. And it's easy. The more we learn Torah, we have less time to do stupid things. Thank you for listening.
Baruch.